Okay, the audio didn't record the first time, so I'm gonna try again, this time with audio. So when we look at this unit circle, right, the three things that we want to know are the degrees of each of these values, of each of these angles, also the radians of each of these angles, and the cosine, sine, and tangent of each of these angles, um, and also these numbers here, which are the coordinates of each of the points that make up each angle. Now, the first thing that we need to remember is that the coordinates that make the points for each of these angles are the same as cosine and sine, um, of the angles. And the way that I remember the cosine and sine of these angles is by remembering these two special triangles. So let's take a look at this orange triangle here first. This orange triangle here is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So this has one angle of 30, one angle of 60, and one angle of 90. Now you can see over here that I made a box, an orange box. All of these orange boxes are related to this triangle. So all you have to remember for this triangle is 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, tres. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, y tres. Pero cuidado que el 3 es raíz cuadrada de 3. This 3 is square root of 3, not just regular 3. So it's 1, 2, square root of 3. The shortest side is 1. The hypotenuse is the longest side. That's 2. And then the third side here is square root of 3. So when you look at the sign of 30, for example, here's 30. The sign is going to be opposite over the hypotenuse. Opuesto y hypotenuse. Por eso mira aquí, sine of 30 is 1/2. All right, and that's why over here you can see 1/2. And this is going to be true for all of these that I made in an orange rectangle. Todos estos 8 que está en naranja son igual a este triángulo. Mira que todos los números para los coordenados son igual a 1/2 y también raíz cuadrada de 3 entre 2, right? Solo cambia el orden o el signo, depende en qué cuadrante es. So we're just changing it based on the what quadrant it's in. So obviously you're going to think about, okay, in this quadrant, en este cuadrante, X es negativo. En este cuadrante, Y es negativo. En este cuadrante, los dos son negativos, right? So just based on the quadrant, if it's going to be positive or negative, and then also thinking about the order of the triangle. So over here, the 30-degree angle, you can see that's the triangle. Este es el triángulo, okay? Pero este es la misma triángulo, solo it's just orientated differently. It's just rotated a little bit. Es igual, solo cambia el X y el Y. Mira que este es raíz cuadrada de 3 entre 2 y 1/2. Este es igual, pero cambia los dos. Medio primero, raíz cuadrada de 3 entre 2, después. Okay, it's the same. You just change the order because you're looking at it from the 30-degree angle or the 60-degree angle, just flipped. The second triangle that's important is this triangle here, which is the 1, 1 square root of 2 triangle. Now, this one is a little bit tricky because when you look at it, you can see sine of 45 is 1 over square root of 2. El sine de 45 es 1 entre raíz cuadrada de 2. Así. Pero mira que 1 entre raíz cuadrada de 2 tiene raíz cuadrada abajo. Y por eso mira que no es igual. Mira que este es raíz cuadrada de 2 entre 2. ¿Ok? Pero el valor es igual. ¿Cómo puede ver que el valor es igual? Si multiplica por raíz cuadrada de 2, aquí encima y también abajo tengo raíz cuadrada de 2 entre 2. ¿Ok? Por eso es igual. El valor es igual, pero los profesores y personas de matemática prefieren esta forma que no tiene raíz cuadrada abajo en el fracción. ¿Ok? Por eso mira que estos dos son equivalentes. Estos dos triángulos son equivalentes. En vez de 1 y raíz cuadrada de 2, tiene raíz cuadrada de 2, raíz cuadrada de 2 y 2. Instead of 1, 1 square root of 2, we have square root of 2 on both sides and 2 on the hypotenuse. And in this way, you can see that sine is square root of 2 over 2. Cosine also is square root of 2 over 2. And so these four, estos cuatro, son en esta manera. You're just changing the sign. And then the last four that you have to remember are the easy ones. Remember, it's just a unit circle. So these four here that I did in green, one is going to be 0 and one is going to be 1, and then the sign changes if it's positive or negative. So that's pretty easy, I think, to remember those ones. Okay, let's take a quick look again over here at radians. So radians, there's the easy thing that you can remember is that um, the circle has 360 degrees, or 2 pi radians. So since 360 equals 2 pi, 360 degrees equals 2 pi. Oops. Right, 360 degrees equals 2 pi. So if you're going from radians to degrees, well, if you're going from radians, you're going to first divide by 2 pi, and then you're going to multiply by 360. Okay, so all you do is, if you have some angle, un ángulo theta, here, hold on. Si tiene theta, probably shouldn't use an equal sign here. Hold on one second. Right? Si tiene theta, por ejemplo, something in radians. So let's say you have like 3 pi over 4 or whatever, right? If you're going from radians to degrees, you're going to multiply this by 360 divided by 2 pi. Multiplica por esta fracción. Okay, now a lot of you might look at this and say like, okay, this is not what I saw in class. What I saw in class is actually 180 over pi. Yeah, okay, so we can simplify. Lo dos cosas puede dividir entre dos. So this is the same thing as 180 over pi. So we can make this a lot more simple by changing it to 180 over pi. So that's easier. Okay. Now, if you're going from degrees to radians, it's just the opposite. So from degrees to radians, you're going to have 2 pi over 360. Or if you want to simplify it, that's fine. It's pi over 180. Okay, so, but basically it's exactly the same. Casi igual. Solo en vez de 180 entre pi, 180 entre pi, tiene pi entre 180. Oops. There we go. Okay, so if you want to just remember that, you can just remember that. But if you want to understand why, like how this is, how all of these numbers come out, for me, it helps to think about how many pieces of the circle there are, how many are you dividing it into, and then how many are you including. So, for example, when you look at these, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 0, son aquí. Estamos dividiendo entre 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Por eso empieza con 2pi, divide entre 4 y simplificar. Pi entre 2. O aquí, 2pi entre 4. Pero ¿cuántos hay? 1, 2, 3. So we multiply by 3 because there's 3 parts. And then we get 6 pi over 2 and we simplify. Mira que hay 3 partes. 2pi entre 4, 4pi entre 4, 6pi entre 4. Y 6pi entre 4 es igual a 2pi, 3pi entre 2. Oh, look, I made a mistake here. So sorry. Okay, when you look at the pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, that's part of this one. So here we're dividing by 8. So for example, here I have 2 pi over 8. ¿Cuántos radians hay en total? 2pi. ¿Cuántas partes hay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 partes. Por eso estamos dividiendo entre 8. 2pi entre 8 es igual a pi entre 4. Por eso este es pi entre 4. So that's why that's pi over 4. Here's another example over here, right? How many are there in total? 2 pi. How many pieces are we dividing by? 8. And then how many pieces are we here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Este es el quinto, por eso 5 por 2 pi entre 8. So that comes out to 10 pi divided by 8. So that's 5 pi over 4 because we can simplify it. Okay. Esta es la manera para ver qué es el valor en radians en este diagrama. Pero también puede usar este cosa también, right? You can use this as well. For example, here, this is, what is this? 215 times pi over 180 is going to be 5 pi over 4. It's going to be the same thing. Okay, and then last but not least, when we look at these ones that are over 6 or over 3, that's from this one. So this one's a little bit tricky, but you can see there's two colors here. If you just look at this lighter one, that's me dividing by 6. So that looks like this. So you can see that when we're dividing by 6, this is the same thing. How many radians are in total? 2 pi. We're dividing by 6, so we divide by 6. 2 pi over 6 is the same as pi over 3, right? Or if you look at this one, it's the same thing, 2 pi over 6, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, so we multiply by 5, so we get 10 pi over 6, and we simplify. If you want to add these in, these are for the 30 degree, right? 30 degrees. This is 30, 60, 90, or pi over 6, pi over 3, this is pi over 2, right? But this one again, here now we're dividing by 12. Estamos dividiendo entre 12. Okay. 2 pi en total entre 12 y este es el séptimo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Por este es este. Okay. And then we can simplify. 7 times 2 is 14, and then this is 7 over 6 pi. Okay. So that's how you find the radians, and so that's how you can find all the different parts. Okay.